How's it going, everybody? It's time for another Mr. Poestyle video. And this one, of course, is going out to DKOG73. If you watched his video last week, unbelievable. He gave me his Pandora box. DX. It's got 3,000 games on it. This is still unbelievable to me. If you watch my videos, and I thank all of you that have stuck in there and have watched my videos, I do a lot of the old school games. Mostly I do a lot of talking. That's why my videos go half hour or longer, because I can't stop rambling on about things. But that's why I started this channel. My son urged me to start this channel. I've told you that before. And because I have a big game collection, I should probably give a little bit of history here. This all started out, I work at a steel mill for a union, the United Steel Workers. And not this past contract, although that was a problem as well. The contract before that, my parents gave me my old Atari 2600 and the games that I had growing up. Most of them, some of them were missing. I probably lent them to friends and forgot to ever get them back. And I also had games there that weren't ours, that I believe belonged to friends from the early 80s, and we just ended up with, because at some point we didn't know anything about a video game crash, honestly. We knew games were cheap, then games were gone. So I had some games that belonged to some of them. I'm sure they have mine, I'm sure, but I've since recollected. I've always had my Nintendo with me everywhere I went with its original games. My dumbass sold my Super Nintendo back in the 90s, later 90s, and all of the games. But I've since started collecting for it again, bought another Super Nintendo. But back when that contract, 2 contracts ago, happened, we were locked out. We did not go on strike. We just didn't agree to a contract with the company that I work for. They locked us out, so we were on picket lines. And at that time, through depression, through boredom, I started thinking, maybe I'll finally build an arcade, a MAME. And I started looking through this stuff, and I'm finding all this stuff on MAME, and even, how to build the cabinets. And I'm thinking, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build this cabinet. I'm going to put a zillion games on there. And, it just didn't end up happening, but I found a lot of YouTube channels. The Gaming Historian, which I love. The Game Chasers, which I love. Angry Video Game Nerd. Up until that point, 2015, I didn't know about any of these. I didn't really look into them. I still played video games. I've always had a current gen system, and the older ones that I had kept that I didn't sell, the ones I did sell in the 90s, were my original PlayStation and my Super Nintendo. Kept everything else, thank goodness. But I was going to build a cabinet, and I didn't. And I've modded things through the years as well. I don't have a RetroPie, but that was one thing I had thought about doing. I had modified my Wii and put a bunch of old game systems and games on there, Nintendo and Super Nintendo and ColecoVision and Television and Atari 2600, of course. I have a bunch of systems that I've collected since 2015, systems that I didn't have back in the day, like the 5200, the ColecoVision, the Odyssey 2, the Fairchild. There's a bunch of them. Did I say Intellivision? Because that's one of them. I got a GameCube that I didn't have at the time I had original Xbox back in the day. Just a bunch of them, and I have something or most things from every generation. I don't have a Philips CDI or anything. I don't have a Neo Geo. I don't have a 3DO, but I have a bunch of other stuff. Would love to have a Vectrex. that's neither here nor there. But that's how this all started. I was going to build a cabinet. Then instead, I decided to start collecting the systems and the games that I didn't have. And then I was all over the place. I was collecting everything for every system. And I know I could emulate. I wanted the real hardware. So that's what I did. I was collecting all kinds of stuff. Still am. I still am. Although some of these systems at some point, you know, I got a TurboGrafx, and at some point I did get an EverDrive, you know, SD card flash or whatever you want to say, to put ROMs on because it got so expensive. But I never did do MAME. I never did do arcade, and I thought about it plenty of times. And our home computer is just an all-in-one home computer, so I never got around to putting something on there to play MAME. Mostly if I wanted to play the original arcade versions, I was doing the PS4 and the Switch, the Arcade Archive games that they had. I was buying them, you know. They were the original arcade ports, but they put them on the Switch, they put them on the PS4. You hit a couple buttons, the shoulder buttons or whatever, to add your credits, your quarters, and that's how I played them. Well, recent years, the last year and a half, I've had some health problems. I've had some things going on. Still not diagnosed. I am assuming I need to switch doctors. I've had a really bad couple weeks with this, on top of a heavy cold that I've had. So I did have a hospital stay for a while in September. I had to actually move a vacation that was supposed to be for next week. I always take Christmas, around Christmas, I always take that week. I've been with the steel mill that I'm at for almost 17 years. I've always taken Christmas week if I could, or the week after Christmas, to spend time with the family, because that is what I am all about, is my family, my wife and my kids. And their kids are pretty much grown now. You know, they're going to be 21 and 18 come March, but they're still my kids. And my wife is still the love of my life. I love to spend the holidays with them. But I had to move my vacation into September. My neurologist wanted to do some checks for seizures, or to see if I was epileptic. And I had a miserable time. I was bedridden the whole time unless I got up to go to the bathroom, and that was it. I was stuck in this bed. I was strapped in this bed so that I wouldn't fall out in case I was epileptic. And around that time, DKOG73 reached out to me. We were probably members of the same groups on Facebook. I know he sent me a message on Messenger on Facebook asking me if I had a YouTube channel. And I did, and it's only been just over a year, and really I don't count that. When I started it, it was just a few things here and there. My Dragon's Lair, a little 12-inch cabinet, you know, some mini Masters of the Universe, world's smallest action figures, a few things here and there. It wasn't anything serious. Like I said, I only started the channel at the urging of my son. But he asked me, and I said, yeah, and we reached out, and somehow, you know, we made a connection. And at first, I'm you know, as a skeptical person, I've always tried to be genuine with everybody. I've always been the person that people seem to come to me with their problems, and I listen to them and I hear them out, and I try to give people advice on things. I care about people, I really do, especially the people in my life. And when he first reached out to me, I didn't really know who he was, and I thought, what's their angle? Because you become skeptical. At 48 years old, you become skeptical, and you know, you have a lot of hardships in your life. A lot of us have had a bad year or two or three. My very best friend passed away in a tragic car accident in August. I had a really, really good best work friend that passed away 2.5 years ago, and he was very young. Things have been very hard as far as that goes, and I've had an uncle that I love dearly pass away last year. A couple other really good friends pass away. So tough times, and then somebody sends you a message and you don't know this person. And that's where we are with DKOG73. We just started talking, you know, and he was watching my videos and he was very positive about my videos. And I'm like, wow, you know, I was doing these videos for myself. It was therapeutic. My son asked me to do them because of our video game collection, and he was really into YouTube. And I was into, like I said, the older, you know, generation, the YouTube stuff, watching them pick up video games or doing a history on video games. So I thought, yeah, I'll do this. I met him and we talked, and he has a channel, and it's a great channel, and the guy is so positive, off the walls positive. Just a great person. And then out of nowhere, this is what it's coming around to. I know I'm rambling. I haven't been feeling good at all this week. I had a really bad episode at work today with this lightheadedness, but I wanted to get this out there because he chose to send me this package, and I'll show you the package here in a picture. A friggin' huge package. It was supposed to show up today, which is the 23rd of December, 2021, and it actually showed up yesterday on the 22nd, and it was a long work day. It showed up, this great big giant box, and yes, it said fragile on the sticker. I'm not going to say fragile, even though it's Christmas time, because, you know, that would be obvious. But he sent me it, and if you watch his video, you'll see when he presented this last week, and it just surprised me. And I've talked on the phone with him several times and messaged with him, and he's just such a great guy, and we connect on so many levels. He was born in 73, and so was I. So even though I am from Pennsylvania and he is from California, we were born in 73. We were 70s, 80s, 90s kids. We have a lot of the same experiences. It's just mind-blowing to me, you know, the things that we connect with here and there, and the things that we talk about. And when we talked on the phone, and we talked about our marriages and how long they've lasted, and the years that we got married, and all of those things. And he's a family man. He loves his family. I love my family. There is nothing better to me, nothing more important to me than my wife and my daughter and my son. And he is the same way. And I did a video a while back on my collection of Popeye home ports, Popeye the arcade game, and I have it for so many systems. And that all started out with the Atari 2600. My oldest brother got it one year for Christmas. He asked for it. He got it. And I remember watching him play this. And up until that point, there were so many Atari games that you watched that your character was a square. Let's be honest. Let's be fair here. Not the greatest graphics, not the greatest sounds. He asked for Popeye. And to me, when people rip on Atari 2600 Popeye, to me, I'm like, that looks like Popeye. That looks like Bluto. That looks like olive oil. That music is Popeye. You grab the spinach. That is Popeye's music. Holy crap. So I loved that. So when I started collecting these other systems like ColecoVision, Intellivision, I bought Popeye for them. I wanted to try out the different versions. I got a 5200. I finally got a 5200 at some point that worked. I did the gold best mod to the controller, the gold contacts, so that I had a controller that worked, and I got Popeye on that. I got Popeye for the Odyssey 2, and yes, by far the most stripped down version. You really have to use your imagination to see that that is Popeye. And it came out, I believe, only in Brazil. I got a copy for my Odyssey 2, because Odyssey 2 was another one that I collected that I didn't have as a kid. I had a friend that had an Odyssey 2 as a kid. I never played it back then. But, you know, I got an Odyssey 2. I actually brought it back to life. I bought the system off of somebody that I knew. It wasn't working. I brought it back to life. I modified it to use Atari 2600 joysticks at the time. I bought the Parker Brothers board game, Popeye, that was based on the arcade game. I bought the Parker Brothers card game that is based on Popeye, the arcade game. So he reached out to me and he said, and I'm talking about DKOG73 here. I'm rambling. I'm not quite connected today. I'm not drunk. I don't do that. I'm just messed up right now from this thing with my head and with the cold that I have. But he asked me if I ever played Poestyle Arcade. And I don't remember ever seeing one. We didn't have any arcades around here back at the time. I never played the arcade version of it. I played everything but the arcade version of it. I've even played the newest Switch remake, reimagining that was terrible, but I bought it anyway because it was based on Poestyle Arcade. No, I hadn't played the arcade. I have no way of playing it at home. And all of a sudden he's doing this video last week, and he's giving me his Pandora box DX with 3,000 games on it. Totally unbelievable. It still blows my mind. And he's sending this thing out, and he's paying for the packaging on it, and he's paying the shipping on it from California to Pennsylvania. And it just really is really appreciated and just unbelievable to me. So that giant box you saw in the picture, here we go. Let's hold it up here. Just kidding. Just kidding. See, I still have a sense of humor even though I'm not feeling well. This is really what he sent me. I'm an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. These are two jokes, inside jokes, for Retro Arcade Music Man. He watched my videos on that world's tiniest 2600 and on the other little TV system. And in his live videos, he keeps saying, get rid of that junk. It's collecting dust. Put it on eBay. That stuff is garbage. Retro Arcade Music Man, I was introduced to him by DKOG73 as well, and I just love both of their videos, and I'm so thankful that he introduced me to him, you know. And so really what he sent me here, and you're not going to believe this, and this thing, I opened it, and it's heavy. I'm not joking around here. It is heavy. This thing isn't like a plastic piece of junk. Look at the size of this thing. This thing is metal. This thing is sturdy. Holy crap. But not only that. I mean, he spent money on this thing, and then he modified this thing, and he used a thing called Pandora, and I haven't looked enough into it yet. I've been working a lot, but I'm going to be off the next few days, and I'm going to look into this Pandora thing. Because he told me I can also add games, but there's 3,000 games here. And this thing is heavy. This thing is sturdy. This thing is crazy. And he just wanted to bring Popeye to me and my son. And, you know, he wanted me and my son to have fun. And my daughter's going to have fun with this as well. You know, we're gonna play this thing. And this little, I would call it a memory card because I'm a hillbilly. But he has that all loaded up. He did the Pandora mod. Not only did he do that, these sticks here are official Sanwa sticks that he put into the thing. So he's putting other hundreds of dollars into these buttons and these sticks. And just listen to the things. It's like when you went to the arcade. It is clicky, it is clacky, it is 8-way restrictor plate in there. This is crazy. And I used to be up on all kinds of stuff. I'm going to go through this and figure it all out. But I called him. He's calling me, and there's times I missed his calls because we have a 3-hour difference from Pennsylvania to California. I get up for work at 3:40 in the morning. So a lot of times by the time he is calling me, he might have just got home from work or whatever. He's getting ready to have dinner, and I need to get my butt to bed. I'm terrible with this because even, you know, with my health issues and whatnot, I'm still only getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep each night just because it's hard for me to wind down at night. And I wind down by watching my videos on video gaming. And that mostly entails DKOG73. That mostly entails Retro Arcade Music Man. I love their stuff. There's a whole retro family going on here. The Play It Forward thing is what this is about. He had this. He wanted to play it forward, pay it forward to me. He thought that I would enjoy this, and he is 100% right. I mean, I'm blown away. I am speechless. It's Christmas time, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you here. We always do for the kids every year at Christmas. And it's always one of those things. My wife says, do not get me anything. And I cannot not get her something. I love her so much. She is my soulmate. And she has been here for me through everything. And my wife, Mrs. Poestyle, she's been through a lot in her life herself, where you wouldn't blame her for not paying attention to a thing that's going on in my life. But it's always been one of those things. She doesn't want any presents. We always just want to pay the bills. But I have to get her something each year. And so she'll be like, what do you want? Don't get me anything. And I don't. I tell her, don't get me anything. Now, there's been a few times, get me a PlayStation 3 game back when that was popular. I would tell them which one, her and the kids. PS4 game, just get me that. But now, we really just... I buy the things I want for myself, for my hobby, throughout the year. A lot of stuff, and you've seen some of it here, some of it you haven't seen yet. And I don't ask for it. There's a lot of years that I just don't, or the kids will buy me Cowtails, like the caramel with the lemon heads. That was a movie favorite of mine. I would buy lemon heads at the movie theater, going to see Ghostbusters, going to see Teen Wolf, going to see Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and so many other great movies, right? And that's the kind of things the kids would get me, They would borrow money from their mom, or as they had little jobs through the years, they would get me that. And a lot of times under the tree there was nothing for Dad, and I was okay with that. But I want to say this right now. A lot of the stuff that, if she did ask me and I did say something, it was just, this game is popular now, I'd like to have that. There has been nothing better under my Christmas tree since the year 1991. There has been nothing that's comparable to this. In 1991 is when I got my Super Nintendo, and that system, the NES is my favorite, I'm going to have to say, but the Super Nintendo is the second very close best, and that was the best last giant Christmas gift that I got from my parents. The NES before that, back in '86. This is the greatest, and it really means so much to me. DKOG and Kimber Time, thank you so much. This Play It Forward thing has been absolutely amazing. Like I said, when I started this channel, I would even say in the videos, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that I don't really care. And I really didn't. This was became a therapeutic thing for me. I like to talk, obviously. A lot of times I do more talking than gameplay. But there's some people out there that are actually listening, and they're talking to me. And there's no doubt in my mind that DKOG73 has brought my subscribership, if that's a word, brought that up by mentioning me. And, Retro Arcade Music Man, every time we go live, he mentions me. He mentions my pup, Nacho. And then I get a few more subscribers. And that was through DKOG73 that I met him. And then I met CT Jason and Off Grid Arcade. And so many others. I mean, there's so many others. Mike C. There's so many others that I'm talking to now. And they feel like a real family because they are the real retro family. Play It Forward is the thing. It's rough. I try to play it forward the best I can by doing shout outs for people. Try to get them some more viewers on their channels as well, just like mine. I'm at a tiny channel, maybe 123 subscribers, but really, when I started this, I didn't expect that many. Really, I didn't. I'm just happy when people watch the video and interact with me. Interact with me is the big thing. I like to comment back. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is a great Christmas, and there will definitely be many videos of me and my son, me and my daughter, my son and my daughter. They don't really want to be on camera, but They can be playing the video games on there. This is crazy. Sanwa sticks. I mean, that feels like the arcade. This feels genuine. This feels like the real thing to me. And he told me there's a way I can also add games. If there's games that I want on this thing, there's 3,000 games. It's going to take me a while to get through that. And he already did the mods for me. He did the hardware mods for me. He did the software mods for me. This thing is amazing. This thing is heavy. This is the real deal. And so is DKOG73. Please go check out his channel if you haven't already. I am sure most of you did because he sent you here. And I appreciate him so much, 100%. And as soon as I'm feeling better, it's a busy week. Get to see family I haven't seen for a while. I love Christmas. It has always been my favorite time of the year because of the family. And yeah, I know a lot of people don't feel the same. A lot of people are sad this time of year. And I feel bad for people that have a hard time this time of year. This has been very touching. This means more to me than you will ever know. I don't know how to express that enough. And I know DKOG is a very humble person. He didn't even want me doing a video about this, but I have to. I absolutely have to, because as I feel myself slip health-wise and even concentration-wise, there's times lately when I'm trying to talk to people and I can't find very simple words. I don't know what's going on. My doctor doesn't know what's going on. My neurologist didn't know what's going on. My pulmonary doctor, I've seen all these people. Nobody can find anything. But I feel it, and I start feeling blurred vision when this stuff happens. Scatterbrained for sure. For sure. I had a big scare with it at work today. And then later I tried to talk about it with somebody there. And the neurologist said there was nothing wrong when he did all of his tests nearly a year ago. And then again in September. Sometimes there's simple words that I can't even get out that I'm trying to say. And later I can get them out. It's been very rough. I don't like to feel like the weak person. I'm 6'4". I am 280 pounds. And I have always tried to be the rock physically for my family, that I am there for them to back them up. Now mentally, definitely my wife, Stasia Style, that's her on-screen name. She's not a gamer. That was her on-screen name back in the day in chat rooms and stuff. She has been our rock for this family as far as everything else goes, and she takes care of writing of the bills, making our appointments, getting everybody where they need to go, getting us to look presentable, because obviously I can't do that on my own. It's always one of my leather jackets and the same flannel that I absolutely love as my undercoat for the past 10 years at least, probably 15. I look like a slob unless she's dressing me to go out and look right, like she'll be doing for our Christmas dinner at the restaurant this Sunday with the family. I always tried to be the strong person for my family, and sometimes lately physically I can't be, and it just frustrates me to no end. So to be able to meet a whole bunch of new friends that I've never actually physically met means so much to me. I hope you stuck in there for this video. I'm sorry, and I know the Retro family has been waiting to see when this would arrive. And like I said, originally the tracking said it was going to be today, Thursday, the 23rd, but it came yesterday, Wednesday the 22nd. I'm not probably going to get this video uploaded until Friday, Christmas Eve. I apologize about that. DKOG, I called him yesterday to let him know. He was feeling under the weather. I called him to let him know I had this, and he said, open it up. I said, oh, I was going to do a video. Open that up. And he said, no, you don't have to do a video. You don't have to even mention me. This is the kind of guy he is. You know, he sent it out. It's play it forward. And this is, this was his thing. This Play It Forward is just a wonderful thing. The things that he's doing for people out there, and letting people know about our channels, and sending stuff like this. I'm sorry, it's emotional. It is emotional because you don't expect that at this stage of the game at 48 years old. Sure, you might make a few work friends here and there and things like that. You don't expect to connect with people like this. And this group is amazing, and it's only getting bigger. And everybody is watching each other's videos, and they're sharing it. So it's become a really great thing. And for him to send me this, that's going to go under the tree for some pictures. This is awesome. I mean, this is just like a kid waking up with that NES in 1986, waking up with that Atari 2682, and waking up with that Super Nintendo in 1991. This is right up there. I'm going to get to play some arcade games that I haven't played in a long time. I'm going to get to play some actual arcade games that I have never, ever played with the greatest sticks, Sanwa sticks and buttons. Live from Japan, right? Arcade Grace, you can hear it. My goodness. This is a great Christmas. I thank you, DKOG73. I thank you for introducing me to Retro Arcade Music Man. Retro Arcade Music Man always shouting me out and my Pup Nacho in your videos. I'm going to play some real arcade games here. Hopefully I get them recorded. I don't have a capture device of any sort. I use a cell phone for everything. I don't even have a laptop or anything. But one day maybe I'll add a few extra things and figure out how to do some kind of live thing with little wee picture of me in the corner while the game is playing on a screen like those guys can do. I haven't really looked into it. At some point I will. And we'll do that. And we'll play some great games. Truly amazing, guys. Truly amazing. The game is never over. You just hit the reset button, right? You can do that in life on a lot of things too. You can hit the reset button if you don't feel that you've treated somebody right, that you've known, or if they haven't treated you right, you can try to hit the reset button with them anyway. Reach out to them. Have a great Christmas. One other thing I was going to say, I'm not going to get to it. Originally, I had planned to do an anniversary for each of the three main systems of my childhood. That was the Atari 2600. Well, that's 39 years this year. I found out I wasn't going to have time to do all this and that on it, so I figured I'll wait until next year. That'll be 40 years. God willing, I'm still around for that. I will do a video on that. I did one on the NES, and I drove you around to the different places where I got my things for my NES. That was my last video before this, so check it out if you get a chance. I was going to do one for my Super Nintendo. That was one that I got 30 years ago this Saturday. But it's pretty much the same. Bought the stuff for it in the same area. The big thing with it was I only had one game that Christmas break. With the NES, I had Kung Fu and I had Super Mario Brothers. With the Super NES, my parents bought that for me, and it came with Super Mario World, and that is still one of, if not the most favorite games from that generation. Definitely from that generation. Maybe overall, just for gameplay wise, I still go back and play Super Mario World with my son every year. I love that game. For that entire Christmas break, that was the only Super Nintendo game that I had in 91 into 92. I think I started renting games and then also buying them, here and there pretty quickly afterwards. But that's it for the 30th anniversary of me getting a Super Nintendo. That was the big deal. I was playing Super Mario World so much that whole Christmas break, and it was just such a great memory for me. I don't have my original Super Nintendo anymore, but I do have one. at all the great games that I had that are so expensive now that I still haven't recollected. I do have them on my modified Super NES Mini. I have it loaded up, so I might not have all the great carts like Super Metroid, blah, 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 that I had for my system back then, and I sold them. But you know what? I was newly married to my lovely wife. We needed money. I sold my Super Nintendo back in 97 or 98. Back then, I wasn't thinking it was that big a deal. I do kick myself all the time for that. Thank you so much, DKOG73. Play it forward. This is a great Christmas gift. The best. I thank you. I thank you guys for putting in the time and watching. I know I ran along rambling again without any gameplay. But I also know that the retro community that he has built, he has begun to build here, ever since his video about saying that he was sending this out to me after he played Popeye on it, they've been waiting to see when I was going to get it. People have been asking me. I got it yesterday on the 22nd. It made it. It was packaged beautifully. And I called him when it came. And he was under the weather, and he wanted to hear me play Popeye for the first time. He talked me through it, putting in a little memory stick in there, turning it on, figuring it out. And even though he wasn't feeling good, he listened. He said, I want to hear you play your first game of Popeye on there. And he listened to me play Popeye the Arcade on the thing. Thank you, friend. Thank you, brother. Thank you, buddy. You're a great one. I appreciate it. I know you didn't want me to do this video, but here it is. The next one on it, I promise, will just be gameplay, and it's going to be me and my family enjoying the thing. Hopefully I get another video out before Christmas. If not, Merry Christmas 2021, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it, and I'm going to try to get this video out as soon as I can, Christmas Eve day. But right now, I have got to get to bed. I am wiped. I am destroyed. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Love y'all. Oh, Nacho. Come here, Nacho. No biting. No bite. Ooh, no biting. Oh, Nacho, stop.